Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Flood. A pair of Thunder Bay High schools have been notified of positive COVID-19 cases among their cohorts. One case at St. Patrick and one case at Hammersholt have been identified by the TBDHU. Anyone in close contact with these individuals will be contacted by the Thunder Bay District Health Unit. Superior North EMS provided another drive-through COVID testing center at a local elementary school in an effort to stop the virus's spread following an outbreak at St. Anne Elementary. The drive-through testing was done at the front entrance of St. Anne from 10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon Saturday, as up to 100 people were expected to stop in. Drive-through COVID testing was recently conducted in Thunder Bay amid the St. Martin School outbreak in an effort to contain their spread as well. Community Paramedicine Superintendent Shane Muir is hoping to have the results early next week and says the parents and students are appreciative of the drive-through testing system.
Well, it's a nice initiative because it's a very familiar environment for them, and they know exactly where to come, how to drive through the access and egress. It's just a familiar setting, and it just eliminates a lot of the need to go through any assessment center and takes a little bit of the burden off the other parts of the healthcare system that otherwise might be affected.
And with children aged 5 to 11 now eligible to get vaccinated, Muir expects the number of school outbreaks to decrease as vaccination numbers increase. The region's drug overdose crisis was put in the spotlight in the latest episode of W5. The CTV News Magazine show spoke to the OPP's Northwest Regional Commander. Chief Superintendent Brian McKillop's strategy is to charge drug dealers with criminal negligence causing death or manslaughter whenever someone dies from an overdose. Avery Haynes produced the story.
We have criminals out there who, with complete reckless disregard for the safety of our citizens, are peddling drugs that are killing people. And we just needed to do something to make sure we were holding people accountable.
Brian McKillop is the Chief Superintendent of Canada's second largest police force, stationed in Thunder Bay. He is the architect of a groundbreaking approach to the toxic drug crisis. The OPP now treats every single overdose death not only as a medical call, but also as a potential crime.
Your message is, if you're selling this stuff, prepare to pay the price if somebody dies because of it.
Well, absolutely. It would be like it's a small caliber gun, so that I didn't think it would kill anybody. I thought it would just graze them or hurt them a little bit. No, these are drug dealers that are dealing the doses of death, right?
Doses of death.
Doses of death, that's what it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If a person's dealing fentanyl, they could very well be killing people.
W5 was granted behind-the-scenes access to the place where most overdoses are tracked, the 911 call center. These are actual calls between 911 operators and police.
Couple shots and no Roxone administered. No success at this point.
As the toxic drug supply crisis was escalating in 2016, Chief Superintendent McKillop was tasked with finding solutions.
As fentanyl started to make its way, its chaotic path across the nation from west to east, we saw more and more overdoses occur, and we saw great risk and responsibility to provide some kind of a responsive program.
In 2018, the OPP launched his responsive program. It included harm reduction strategies, arming officers with the overdose antidote naloxone, and a province-wide order: go after dealers who cause death.
So you'll be testing the fentanyl that we see as a result of the last investigation, so I'm really
Unlike most other police services, the OPP does keep statistics on the times they have laid charges in connection with so-called overdose homicides. You can see the dramatic spike in charges laid in Ontario from 2 in 2016 to 28 just a few years later.
What's the profile of the person who's getting picked up on these charges?
It's the local drug traffickers that are dealing the drugs that are killing people or causing overdoses that are being charged. But ultimately, they would have received the drug from someone else. So each and every investigation that we do, each step of that investigation allows us an opportunity to target higher level criminality.
Local MPP Judith Monteith-Farrell says the province needs to do more to ensure the long-term viability of Thunder Bay's Alston plant. This in response to an announcement made by the Ford government earlier this week.
Our government is investing $171 million for the refurbishment of 94 GO Transit bi-level coaches right here at Alstom's Thunder Bay plant.
This latest commitment is expected to secure 200 jobs over the next 2 years. It falls short, however, of the major multi-year TTC streetcar or subway contract that many have been calling for. Monteith-Farrell acknowledges this is a good start, but insists the province must do more.
What we wanted to see was that commitment to a Made in Ontario strategy and a commitment that, the light rail and the subway cars that we need for Ontario for the ever expanding need to, address climate change, those kinds of things, that we would see that value added, that, those manufacturing jobs wouldn't all be in Southern Ontario, that, there is that commitment to our, wonderful and very successful manufacturing at Alstom.
An Indigenous-led company in Thunder Bay has donated a large sum of money to the McKinneku's Children's Fund. The donation will help provide basic amenities such as food, clothing, and shelter to First Nations children. Jason Thompson, the owner of Superior Strategies, started selling Every Child Matters t-shirts and flags throughout the summer. He pledged to donate $5 from every sale to the charity, and more than $20,000 was raised to help children from remote First Nations.
It was inspired, by the finding of the burial sites at the residential schools, and we were looking for a local charity to help support, right? Because we truly believe in the future of our Indigenous people, in honoring, those who survived and those who were lost at the residential schools.
This funding is a game changer. So we heavily rely on the donations from individuals and corporations to do our programming. And this donation means that, more kids are going to receive warm winter gear. We're going to be able to send more sporting equipment into communities and provide more in-school meals.
The t-shirts are still for sale, and Thompson says their ultimate goal is to influence change within the community. An update now on the situation in Emo following last week's bombshell council meeting, which revealed a crisis at the township's office, which was addressing the continuity of services for the community. Adam Riley has more.
Operations in the township of Emo are attempting to return to normal following staffing challenges, which the municipality itself has deemed unprecedented. Documents obtained by TBT News confirm the Ministry of Labour is conducting an investigation into allegations of workplace harassment. A complainant alleges the employer did not conduct an appropriate investigation into the complaint. As well, the workplace harassment program does not have measures for workers to report incidents to a person other than the employer or supervisor, even if that employer or supervisor is the alleged harasser. At a special meeting of council late last month, it was revealed the ministry had performed a field visit. A clerk from another community had temporarily assumed duties for Emo, and that the municipality was experiencing staffing challenges. A notice on the town's website states the town office is currently closed, and over the next few weeks, staff will resume full services from the office if possible. Job postings on the town's website indicate it is still looking for both a deputy treasurer and a casual administrative assistant. A visit to the township offices by reporters revealed that a new temporary chief administrative officer, former Fort Frances CAO Doug Brown, was being appointed this week to carry out duties for the town. In a phone call, Brown confirmed this appointment is temporary, as well that out of the 3 staff positions in the office, 2 people are on leave and a third has left the organization completely, leaving Brown as the only staff member on site. Multiple attempts to interview Emo Mayor Harold McQuaker were made, but were unsuccessful. The township has been given a pair of dates to become compliant with the orders issued by the ministry, including to implement a policy for reporting workplace harassment to someone other than an employer or the supervisor, and to investigate the allegations of workplace harassment. Adam Riley, TBT News.
A solution to curb the growing issue of drivers passing stopped school buses is being brought to Thunder Bay City Council next Monday. There have been hundreds of reports of the incidents, granting a closer look into the implementation of stop-arm cameras in hopes that they catch and deter drivers from speeding by. There's been almost 200 reports of vehicles failing to stop for school buses since the start of the year, and that doesn't sit right with Westford Councillor Kristen Oliver. Ontario passed legislation in late 2019 allowing municipalities to install these cameras on school buses and ticket those impatient drivers. Oliver is hoping the rest of council approves her resolution and says it doesn't come at a high cost for taxpayers.
There's one company that they essentially pay for the infrastructure costs up top and then, or in front, and then they keep a portion, they keep the revenue, rather that the municipality's portion that they would generate from the ticket violation until the infrastructure is paid off, and then you go into an arrangement with them on a cost sharing. There's other companies out there that we may have to pay for the infrastructure up front and then look at how we recoup those funds back through the fines when they're laid. And
if Oliver's resolution is approved on Monday, administration will present a report before September 2022. 10 extraordinary women are taking part in the 2021 Ontario Strong Women Amateur Provincial Championship, which is a two-day event of intense physical tasks that test the women's strength and willpower. For the first day, the women took part in 5 different physical challenges, including Farmers 50-50 and Stones over Bar. The women will compete Sunday as well, trying to rack up the most points to win. The point system is based off position for each event, with last place getting 1 point and adding an additional point each position up to 10 points for first place. The event is hosted in the MSP private studio due to COVID, as a smaller event was easier to guarantee safety. But it's expected the event will grow even more next year. Co-owner and athlete in the competition, Samantha Bellavow, is currently leading going into day 2 with 38 points. And she says the most important part of this event is community.
To just be able to come here, and we're genuinely all really great athletes, and this is for us just about having fun, and we put so much work into the gym. Being able to showcase it is something that we live for, so it's fun to be able to all do it together.
And with the leaderboard for the competition close, day 2 on Sunday will be a tight race for all athletes who are having fun, of course, and hoping to take home the win. Join now with Kurt Black. Kurt, some strong performances there happening in Thunder Bay. Also some strong performances this weekend. North Stars in action.
Yeah, last night, great night at Fort William Gardens. We have the highlights, North Stars, Norskies, right after.